One theme that we haven't touched upon yet, but that's huge, is obviously the upcoming COP26. We've got the Nats. Well, what have they done? Anyways, agreed to net zero. We don't know under what terms or what comes with that, but at least in principle agreeing with it. So is that likely to be, something that's digested by markets, something that's expressed in equities over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, we've been looking at the green energy space quite a bit recently. Obviously, they did try to put in nuclear there as well. Obviously, a lot of countries leaning towards that being base load. We've been looking at the green hydrogen sector as well. There's been recent, I think the New South Wales government came out with $3 billion in grants. Obviously Twiggy's doing his thing with the Queensland government there in Gladstone as well with the electrolyser. So that space has been, starting to get a little bit hot. So things like Hazer, which was around about 90 cents not that long ago, has been up to about $1.50. So other names in that space like Pure Hydrogen. So that's sort of, that's going quite well. That seems to be where Scott Morrison obviously flagged that, wanting to be the green hydrogen valley, like Silicon Valley in the international leaders Zoom meeting a while ago. So that was sort of what piqued our interest there in that space. So, but the Nationals really, they basically conceded that the need for pauses, and obviously I think, which the Liberals said, which is fair enough, it's not really a commitment to net zero emissions if you're having pauses. So it looks like a deal's done before they go to Glasgow, and we can at least get on with the job. So it is by far and away the highest polling issue for the election coming up. So
yeah, buried in that you talked about uranium. I mean, uranium it's been in vogue. It's sort of come off and then come back. I mean, what's your sort of view there at Maqro right now about the uranium space?
It's still politically unpopular in Australia, but I think we've got a lot of, I think there's more than 30 odd plants being built in India and China. The UK is looking at the mini reactors, which kind of probably solves the problem for people's hesitance towards that space. Look, the waste is an issue, but obviously it's not carbon emitting, so it does solve a lot of problems for a lot of governments that are way behind on their Paris Accord commitments. So look, I think it's something that's going to be, from a baseload perspective, it's going to have to be used because you can't rely on the weather for your baseload stuff. Possibly, if the science gets there, that hydrogen stuff for mass energy storage might be used. But look, it's still too expensive. It's still far away. But they are getting they are ahead of schedule, bringing that the price down in production there. So.
Mark, what about some of the other companies and sectors that are exposed to COP26, upcoming climate change, particularly from the agricultural side of it? Because a lot of people look at Australia's a big agricultural producer. Is there anything in that space that interests you at now?
Yeah, look, Nufarm and GrainCorp particularly, I think Nufarm probably might suffer a little bit. I think there's some restrictions on the amount of land that can be cleared for cropping, etc., and grazing. So someone obviously in Nufarm space where they're chemicals for crop protection, their broader market's not going to expand, but GrainCorp may actually slightly benefit obviously because grain prices might head up just on the back of there being a lack of availability of land. I think there was an article in the AFR this morning about farm prices going through the roof, even through the point where they basically say on a single farm basis they're completely unsustainable. But there's a lot of the big players going in there trying to gobble up a lot of land. So.